Hello and welcome to Blogsprout. I'm LJ, and if you've been following the big news in the last few days, Google has a new helpful content update rolling out this week in August 22nd, 2022. So I just want to do a brief video on my predictions, and I'll certainly be giving you information about how my site does after this update. But I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what the helpful content update is and what my thoughts are on it. So essentially, there's a document about the helpful content update. The link's below, but it's just this short article that we see right here. And what basically they're saying is they're trying to prevent non-helpful content from showing up in the search engines. That's great. I mean, ultimately, people are going on Google, they're looking for information, and they want to find the most relevant and helpful information out there. So what I think this is attempting to do is get rid of fluff. I think they're trying to filter out the results that don't add much value and don't really get to the point. So what I predict is sites that just have a lot of words and not many tables and images or graphics and videos are going to get hit, because most people want an interactive form of media. And those are things that can't really be created by AI. A person has to go in and make a reasonable table. A person has to make a graphic. Usually a person has to at least format and create a video in some sense. So I personally think extra media is going to help sites in this category. And there's been a lot of talk in a group that I'm in about AI content, and everybody knows AI content is the big thing. I think AI content can be a helpful tool, but there are people out there that will use AI content to create entire blogs and blog posts. And although I think it's great for a case study to see how it does, I don't think it's necessarily, just my personal opinion, a reasonable approach to create data, because without a human being behind it, there's a lot of misinformation and poor grammar and unnecessary words in discussion. So what I think they're trying to do in this update is also try to hit those sites that have AI content that are generating thousands and thousands of articles every month, because they're just publishing content. And though I do think content is king, quality content is king. And basically Google is telling us that right now, that they are making significant efforts to reduce success for sites that just are not built for people. So what they say in this document is they want to focus on people first. How can a robot determine if something's based on people? Well, that's hard to say. I obviously don't know how Google works, but there are some, rhetorical questions here on if your site could be people focused. Will they find content useful? Is there expertise and knowledge? Is there a purpose and focus? One thing that you can kind of collect from this article is that they are really trying to focus on like authority and topical authority. There are sites out there that try to rank for all keywords under the sun. It doesn't matter what topic you're in or niche, and you just write about Legos, you write about keyboards, you write about fish, you write about plants, and you're ranking for different things, but you just have no real authority. So they're trying to prevent sites like that. So that's, hopefully, if you haven't started a site, or if you have a site and you're not really focused on a particular niche or trying to gain some topical authority on a specific topic, then I definitely recommend you start to think about your content in that way. So these questions definitely help you evaluate if your content is people focused. How that's actually going to impact SEO and rankings, I don't know. There are going to be plenty of sites that are people focused that are going to get hit. And it's going to be hard to tell why exactly that happens. Again, my prediction is those with extra media that, other visuals that can't be created by AI are going to have the best success because it's hard to replicate those with AI. So here they're also basically saying is don't over optimize your content for search engines. You want your information to be focused around the search query and what a person's looking for. You're not trying to focus so much on the technical SEO. Of course, it's easier said than done because there are some basic SEO tactics that will help your site. But at what point is Google now going to say that there's no such thing as technical SEO and we just figure it out and we control everything? It's essentially kind of what's starting to happen. At the beginning of the SEO world, I guess, it was pretty simple and straightforward. You'd put the keywords a certain number of times. You'd put it in the URL, you'd put it in the tags, you'd put it in the H2s. And I think there's some truth to that, but it has to make sense on what you're actually talking about. So if you have the keyword in there too many times and it's out of place and it doesn't read right, I think that Google will start to realize things that are out of place like that. And they don't want to see you over optimize. How they're going to do that, again, I don't know. So it does say that it's going to take up to 2 weeks, but they're also going to focus on not just specific content, but sites as a whole that are unhelpful. So if you have one really, really good article, but Google deems the rest of your site unhelpful, that article, it sounds like, could also lose some positioning. So they're really trying to focus on content creators to evaluate what they're producing and whether or not there's value. This business can be a great business, but there are a lot of people just trying to start it and cheat the system that are just focused on getting articles out there and getting content, getting traffic. And like that is the purpose of the business, but you're trying to fill a gap and actually be helpful to your readers. Like I found a great niche, but I've been putting a lot of effort into making sure the articles I provide are actually helpful and useful and are better than something else out there. And my site still could get hit, but I'm not sitting here and clicking the AI, create this article, and publish 1,000 articles. I just don't think that's going to work. There's a guy I follow, Mike Donovan, on Twitter. Him and I seem to have very similar approaches to SEO and blogging, and he only has 230 or something articles, so I've already surpassed that point. But he's got over 500,000 views. So more content doesn't necessarily mean that your site's better. I'm sure that all those articles are really high quality, and so far he hasn't really had a major hit, probably because the people that come to the site are very engaged and really find value in what you're looking for. So again, this update, I'll let you know if my site gets hit. Fingers crossed. I'm obviously pretty new to the SEO world, so I'm not sitting here saying I'm an expert, but right now I'm just kind of spitting back the thoughts that I have, the thoughts I've heard from the community. And my personal opinion is that what Google's trying to do is get rid of high text, out of place, optimized, unhelpful content. So content that's not over optimized, content that it makes sense, is comparative to other content that's out there and has multiple media types are what are likely going to succeed through this update, I believe. I have a lot of tables, I have some charts and things like that, so fingers crossed that Google likes that, but there's always a chance that Google will say, those tables aren't useful for some reason, and it could take a hit on my site. I don't have many other images or videos like that, so I'm definitely taking the risk. They don't explicitly say that. That's just my personal opinion, but once this rolls out after 2 weeks, we're definitely going to know what type of sites are going to get hit by this helpful content update. So I'll let you know how it goes in 2 weeks. And good luck to you all in this new update. May the, what is it? It's not may the force be ever in your favor. May the odds be ever in your favor. That's Hunger Games, right? Yeah, pop culture, you know. The odds be ever in your favor, and good luck to all of you. I'm wishing you all good luck, and hopefully we will all check in later and have some great news. So I'll see you in the next video. This is LJ, or I'm LJ, and this is Blogsprout. Bye.